Hi everyone, Garry the Catholic rugby fan here. In this clip, I will introduce to you my number 10, the Flyhalf, of my All Saints fantasy rugby team called the Great Clouds of Witnesses. The surprise selection in the backline. I never knew this saint existed until someone told me that his confirmation saint's name is Saint Tarcisius. And after reading about him, he became my automatic choice at Flyhalf. I regard the Flyhalf as the heartbeat of the backline. He must be able to read the game, know when to pass, know when to kick, know when to link with the forwards. And the heartbeat of the Catholic Church is the Eucharist. Saint Tarcisius became a martyr at the age of 12, defending the Eucharist. Now, during the days when Christianity was banned, the Christians would gather together in a secret place in the catacombs to celebrate Mass. And after Mass, the deacon would take communion to the prisons. Many prisoners at that time were on death row. Many died for their faith in the Colosseum. But one particular Sunday, no deacon was available, and Tarcisius volunteered. While he was taking the Eucharist, the communion, to the prison, he encountered a gang of boys. Some actually knew him. They played soccer with him. And they saw Tarcisius was carrying something. And they wanted to see what it was. But they weren't Christians, so Tarcisius refused to show them. And this gang of boys became a mob, and they beat him up. A Roman soldier who was a Christian came to his assistance. But while he was carrying Tarcisius' mangled body back to the catacombs, Tarcisius died from his injuries. And he is the patron saint of altar service. And the childhood hero he reminds me of. You know, there are so many great players that wore the number 10 jersey, such as the great Argentinian Hugo Porta, the two Welshmen Barry John, Phil Bennett, and the great French Flyhalf Guy Camberbera, the Flea. But my hero at number 10 is Keith Oxlee, the Springbok and Natal Flyhalf. Oxlee, he was the first Natal player to reach 100 provincial caps. And he played in an era when Natal, with their light pack, had to counter the teams with their heavy packs. So they would counter-attack from defensive positions. And this style of play suited Keith Oxlee. In the 1962 Test series against the British and Irish Lions, Oxlee was the key player in the Springbok team. He scored all the Springbok points in the second and third test, the series which the Springboks won. And after the series, Arthur Smith, the British Lions captain, paid tribute to Keith Oxlee. He said, with Keith Oxlee's unpredictability, the problem with Oxlee is that you never know what the blighter will be doing next. So guys, that's my Flyhalf, Saint Tarcisius. And just something small that I'd like to just mention. I was listening to a talk on Radio Veritas a few evenings ago, and the priest mentioned why Catholics leave the church. because they don't believe that the Eucharist is truly the body, blood, soul and divinity of Christ. And this is something that I do every Friday, the very first Friday of every month, or that weekend. What I do, I take my Bible with to church, and I always read John 6:51 to 69. And in verse 61, Jesus will ask you the saddest question. To me, that was the beginning of the Reformation. And then I will read Luke 22:14 to 20, when Jesus said, "Do this in memory of me." So guys, as usual, I won't say goodbye, but I will see you all in the Eucharist. Blessings from the Catholic Rugby fan.